Welcome to High Gluttony. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Becca, and we're two curious ladies who like to cook,
Smoke,
learn,
and enjoy a meal with friends.
We invite you to join us every 10 days or so here at the High Gluttony Homestead and listen to us make a mess
and have a lot of fun. So step inside, Guttoneers.
Gretchen! Hello!
Becca, hello! How are you today?
I'm so good. I'm excited to see you. I'm looking forward to our dishes today. We're making a really fun old favorite and a new twist on a questionable favorite for some people. But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm over here. I'm enjoying my Emparo Rosé from Stag's Leap Winery. Starting the day with a bang and some rosé. So that's always nice. Have we already covered how you're doing? I don't know. I'm confused about what's happening.
I am good, thank you. I think that's 2 times. I think we kicked off with a how are you, Becca, but I'm happy to say again, I'm good. But I'm also sipping on some little tart, fun little Vino Verde, which I haven't had in a little while. So I wanted something with a little kick, a little tingle on my tongue.
I almost went with the Vino Verde today, but I was like, I've already had this Vino Verde on the podcast. Had to go with something I haven't had before. And I have a giant store of wine, so gotta start working on that.
Tough go at it, yeah. Indeed. That's funny you wanted Vino Verde today, and I am drinking it for the first time in a while. I think since we had it on the podcast. Yeah.
I have a bottle of that Orlana or whatever it was in my fridge, so I was like, I should drink this, but I've already had this for the podcast, so I want to do something different.
It's like how people they can't be seen in the same outfit twice. We cannot have the same drink twice.
I think I've been repeating myself a little much lately, so I was just trying to be doing something a little different, although I think maybe the alcohol percentage would have been better on the Vino Verde, but I put some ice cubes in my wine to chill it down, so hopefully that'll help. I don't know, maybe.
Totally dilutes the alcohol for sure.
Those 2 ice cubes I threw in there definitely going to make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, you'll stay hydrated. It's perfect. What are you smoking?
I am enjoying one of my new favorite brands. I am having a horchata Jeter brand infused joint. These are so good. This is my first time enjoying the horchata. I did sample it a little bit last night to make sure it would be okay for the recording today. And I think as long as I keep it to a minimum, I should be fine because they are hash infused and resin infused. So
classic Gretchen. Start off. I've tested it. It's fine. Here we go. 20 minutes later. Oh shit.
Oh shit. But I have my Weejit here for my joint smoking pleasure because I'll be able to put it into the Weejit and put it out really quick. So I'll get my couple of puffs off of it and then I'll put it away. I've got my tools.
Portion control.
But yes, today's is horchata. It does taste delicious, kind of cinnamony and creamy. I really love this brand. So what are you enjoying?
I'm having a new to me brand of flour called Green Life Productions. It has the cutest glass jar. I want to make a little candle out of it, even though it's not printed on there, but it's really cute. It has this little gold print and it's adorable, but obviously drawn in by the bottle.
I'm a sucker for branding. So,
right,
I mean,
thank you.
I definitely label buy shit all the time.
So it's purple cough. It's got about 24% THC, and then it has myrcene, limonene, and ocimene. And it's tasty and so pretty. It's like a very beautiful flower, and I guess they grow all indoor, but have a really organic approach to it. So it was a fun new find for me. And I splurged a little bit, and I'm enjoying the fuck out of it.
Splurge monetarily or intake-wise?
Monetarily. I don't feel it's possible for me to splurge anymore with my life intake.
You have the good tolerance.
I'm so excited to eat today these Thanksgiving sides. Tell me more about what we're making today, Gretchen.
Well, we've gone with some delightfully easy preparations today. I am also excited. I love that we're doing a what I would consider a classic preparation for green beans. We are getting ready for Thanksgiving. So we felt we should do some Thanksgiving side type things. So we are doing green beans almondine. I don't know. I guess like there's an official title for it, but I forget what it is.
That was
And
it. That was
green beans
exactly it.
almondine. Okay. It's like I feel
You
like
just
it should have
it
a
had
different.
recipe on the end. That's all. Yeah.
And then we are doing a Brussels sprout chip recipe. So doing a Brussels sprout chip makes a lot more sense to me now that I've done my Brussels sprout research for today. And since we have covered cabbage and cauliflower, I think
Yes. Yes. We're
pretty sure we are gonna make these chips.
So we're gonna make a really traditional green beans with shallots and butter. Very simple.
Almonds. Yep.
Almonds, very important. And then the Brussels sprout chips are Parmesan, olive oil, salt, garlic powder, pretty much. We'll read the full ingredients in a minute, but super simple prep, like Gretchen said. I'm very curious about what you learned about Brussels sprouts, and in particular, how this method is going to make. I don't want to say it tastes better, but yes, tastes better.
Well, it'll give it a broader appeal. How about that?
Well said. There
Thank
you go. I also never ate Brussels sprouts and did not know they grow on like a vine kind of whole thing.
Like you're literally just learning that as we're doing this podcast?
No, but
okay.
I didn't know
Thank
that
you.
for a long time. Like I'd never seen Brussels sprouts in the store like that.
On the stalk. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really, I feel like that's a really new thing ever since like the world got into organics and like we want to know where our food comes from, which is, hey, I'm not ripping on that movement.
But I was surprised.
We auspiciously, I, well, I say I received, but it just means I went and got my mail out of my mailbox finally.
You received it to yourself finally.
Yes. But the November-December 2022 Cooks Illustrated magazine. And lo and behold, they have a whole center spread. Literally, the center spread is Brussels sprouts for this month. Who would have guessed? Anybody that does anything around Thanksgiving, probably. But it has a nice symmetry to what we're here to do today.
Yes.
I forget what the point of that whole thing was.
Cooks Illustrated is one of your resources then for today?
Yes, thank you. Yes. So we got some great info. The title of this article is For the Love of Brussels Sprouts.
Note the Brussels. Again, a thing I didn't know for a long time is that it was Brussels. I always thought it was Brussels sprout.
Mm. Yeah. I think that's one of those Mandela effect things where I think most people would be like, oh, it has an S on the end for Brussels, because we found out, because we just Googled before we started, it is literally for the city of Brussels. Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. The sprouts of the Brussels.
So do you have any questions about Brussels that maybe like you want to kick off with? Or do you want me to just start talking?
Well, thank you for the question opportunity. You know, I always have questions because I mentioned that I was surprised by how it grows. It's just, if you don't know, for people like Becca, who grew up in Las Vegas and did not see fresh vegetables and fruit until you moved to California, it's one big thick stalk. And then there are these balls that like shoot off the sides, and they're just the Brussels sprouts popping off the side of these like little vines, and it's very silly to me. So they look like a cabbage and they look like cauliflower a little bit. So I guess that's where my questions start. Is it in that family? How does it grow
indeed.
Similarly? Okay, kick us off then.
Yes.
There we
go.
So
it is in the calciferous family. So it is deeply, deeply related to cabbages. I believe they are, because this didn't actually come up in either of the things I read about how they got to Brussels sprouts. I believe it's selective reading that was how we ended up with this particular format of brassica.
Of the sprouts of the Brussels. Yeah.
Yes. But they are a little more similar to like a cabbage than, say, cauliflower, because it is a leaf you're eating a leaf versus the cauliflower broccoli variety, which is you're eating the flower head. I feel like that sort of answers your question.
Perfectly.
Now, speaking of that, seeing those stalks in the store now, we do have our wonderful magazine here to turn to for input on the best way to buy Brussels sprouts.
To buy. Okay. Tell me more.
If you can, it is good to buy them on that stalk.
Of course.
But you're trading your freshness quotient for time preparing. They do point
More
out
work.
it is a lot more work, and that any Brussels that are not on the stalk, that are prepared, at least to that point, are fine. You're not really sacrificing that much in the way of quality by not buying it on the stalk. But the very freshest way to do it is to buy it on the stalk. So thank you, Cooks Illustrated, for answering that question that I did not even know I needed to ask.
Yeah, right off the bat, answering our questions. I appreciate that. And also, you're stuck with the big trunk afterwards. Unless you're making like stock with it or something. What do you do with that guy?
Ooh, and I don't know if I'd ever really go in for making brassica stock. Like,
sure. No thanks.
That's a lot of sulfur to deal with. I don't think anybody's gone, let me take the most sulfury thing and concentrate that shit down and drink it.
Spread it out. Yeah.
I don't think that's ever come up. I mean, my bunnies would probably enjoy having a snack out of it, but I don't know that that's something that's particularly good for them. Compost pile, good for your compost pile. I'm sure you'd have lots of things in your compost pile that wouldn't mind eating it. But if you're not a composter, maybe just save yourself the effort of having to get rid of that and making that extra prep work for yourself.
Which is all to justify that I did that today. I didn't buy it on the stock.
I didn't even see any on the stock today, so that wasn't an option for me. Phew. I mean, I'm sure if I'd looked at Whole Foods, maybe. I never would bother with that. That's not something I'm looking for. Their recommendations on what to look for when you're buying sprouts, which I'm like, why haven't we included? I guess we do kind of include this, but
it's a good thing to get more intentional about what to look for.
Yeah. So you want to buy smaller ones because they'll be more tender. The bigger anything in that brassica family gets, the more woody those stems get. And so they get more tough and aren't as nice. So the smaller the sprout, the more tender the stem you're going to see. Well, they're advising same size pieces. I guess that's fine. But otherwise, you can cut them to pretty much be, or you can peel them down to the fucking same size. Like,
I kind of like the mismatched sizes because then I get like some really crispy little pieces and some kind of soft, furry big pieces. So I kind of like that, like that is loose sizing.
That's actually a good way to think about it, is if you like a variety of textures, it's not bad to have a variety of sizes. Yeah. I'm just noticing this weed makes me really gestury. I'm like waving this magazine around like I don't have a glass sitting in front of me.
Yeah. You're like directing like air traffic right now.
Getting to be a lot.
We're gonna have a sweat over there.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I have been off my ring fit, so like I need to work out today. So same size pieces will cook evenly, but it's up to you. It's your life. Do what the fuck you want. We're not here to tell you exactly what to do. We're just here to provide suggestions. And they do recommend that the more tightly your little head is, the better it's going to be with dark green leaves. Looking for that darker color on the outside at least.
Okay, so what do you do once you've bought it then? Now we know what to look for when we buy it. Everybody's always poo-pooed Brussels sprouts.
Well,
included.
Yeah, so let's just cover storage for a second. We'll just keep ripping off totally Cooks Illustrated, although we're not ripping them off because we are giving them the credit. So
yes,
we have to tag them the fuck out of them in this episode.
Yeah, hi,
we're coming for Illustrated. We love your work. Thanks. Thanks for making our work easier by doing your work. Thanks. We have storage tips. If you have them on the stock, you will loosely wrap them in damp paper towel. If they are not on the stock, or as they actually refer to them as loose, in an open plastic produce bag. So a little surrounding by plastic, but don't like tightly wrap it in plastic. You want to have some ventilation.
In a Pantry kind of situation? Cool, dark place? Did you say? Did I miss it?
Fridge.
Fridge. Okay.
Good question. Thanks.
Thank you.
After that, that's where things get a little more fun. So let's mention a few things real quick about Brussels sprouts and why they are probably some of the more loathed veggies out there. I have to say this is probably just because you haven't been treating your Brussels sprouts right.
Ah, another bold statement by Gretchen. Tell us why we are not doing it right.
First of all, I think I did myself a disservice by never having Brussels sprouts until I went to culinary school. I don't feel like they were a thing. Like, I feel like I remember hearing about them in like pop culture, but as far as direct experience, I had zero direct experience with Brussels sprouts as far as I can remember. But they were so loathed in popular culture, I was never like going out of my way to find out about them. So,
Right.
bad on my part. Now, this is due to a couple of compounds that actually an enzyme and a compound, two that they shout out here in Cooks Illustrated, that you have an enzyme called, and I looked up how to pronounce this and everything, so give me 1 second here. So you have an abundance of an enzyme called myrosinase, and a sulfur-rich compound called glucosinase. And when the leaves of the Brussels are cut, so pretty much anytime you're preparing Brussels sprouts, I feel like you're cutting them in some way, the damaged cells release these two chemicals, which then transform, the glucosinates transform into the isocyanates. I looked this one up too. I'm so sorry. This is like all gone. That's close. That's close. And so those isocyanates are sort of a bitter mustardy compound, which is unappealing to some people. Like it may come down to just you not having a taste for that chemical. But there are things we can do to limit that bitter mustardy compound.
So you said there's an enzyme and a compound that are released when you cut it.
Correct. We're looking at those isoticinolates. That's the part that makes that bitter compound that most people don't like. So let's focus on that. That's the important part. You can limit those by blanching those Brussels right after you cut them. That will help dilute, like at least take the stuff off the surface so that you don't have as much of that compound. So if it's something that maybe you're looking to avoid, I don't know, you might even be able to do it just by rinsing them. Like if you're going to use them in a salad application, if you give them like a good rinse in some ice water, probably have the same effect where you could at least rinse some of those bitter compounds away if you're concerned about it. But this is the thing that is, I think, comes up with the like sort of popular culture being like Brussels sprouts are the worst. They are not. They've just been mishandled by a lot of cooks. So let's see if we can make it better. I think in the last 10 years, it's become really popular to roast Brussels sprouts for a good reason. As the roasting does, you get that Maillard reaction that we've talked about a little bit before, where it's that conversion of the proteins into a more like savory, umami, sugary almost kind of caramelly thing. Anytime you can bring the sweetness up, that's going to counteract your bitter components. So I think that's why roasting Brussels sprouts has really become popular, at least in the last 10 years. I feel like there's a lot of roasting, searing, toasting, which is why I think the fact that we're making chips out of them is awesome. Like, this is going to be great. I've never done this with Brussels sprouts before.
I was a little confused with all of the words, but my basic understanding is as soon as you cut the Brussels sprout, it can become bitter because of two compounds, enzymes, chemicals inside of it. And
Yes.
there are a couple of ways to combat that if that's not something you want, which is typically not how people have been preparing it. So that the result is that most people haven't really enjoyed Brussels sprouts, like you said, because it hasn't been prepared in this way that could remove that bittery, mustardy flavor if that's not what you want.
Yeah. And
okay.
Also, maybe you just don't fucking like that, but like there's a reason. It's not a pleasant compound to consume. there are lots of things like that in this world that lots of people like. So,
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen a lot of Brussels sprout recipes that have Dijon on it,
right.
you know.
Yeah. In case you want to just double down on the
Yeah,
mustardy component.
exactly. Uh-huh. Just
Let's
dig
not
in.
let's not forget it is an actual relative of mustard. That's in the brassica family as well. So like it makes sense that that chemical is there, that bitterness is there. It's all related.
I don't think I knew mustard was related too. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, if that's necessarily like a brassica, but like, so you've got in that family, just to dive down this little side quest for half a second, but so like you've got your mustards, you've got your turnips, radishes, those are also in the family usually. Um, Kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, mustard. I want to make sure I said mustard because I'm not sure if I actually said that in the beginning. Just in the complete list. And I think that's it. Kohlrabi. Kohlrabi's also in that family. I'm not sure about bok choy. I thought bok choy might be, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, so
Hmm.
that's most of them.
Okay. I can see how all of those fit together. And then also, it does make sense about the roasting because I have made these kind of chips before, not sliced, but just the individual leaves. And I love that preparation. It does take time, but it's so tasty to me. And I can enjoy a Brussels sprout under other cooked circumstances, but I don't want to eat it really.
I think one of the things that maybe also has been an issue is overcooking of Brussels sprouts, which like might sound counterintuitive to what we were saying previously, but there's also like the danger of like because if with to make something clear, if you are blanching a Brussels sprout, because we're going to be doing this with our green beans today, you're pretty much just trying to get a light cook on it. Although we are going to take our green beans pretty much to like fully cooked. We want them to like just before like completely fully cooked. You are just sort of preserving that at the best possible cooking point, like just before the best possible cooking point. So if you're blanching like Brussels sprouts, depending on how long, like how big of a piece you're talking, it's going to go into like to the boiling water for maybe like 5 to 6 minutes tops. But I think people will like boil them to death, and then that's just working against you because it's concentrating those flavors into it. Whereas if you're blanching, you're dunking it in pretty quick and then removing it from that water, and so that it doesn't have time to concentrate down. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And it can get mushy.
Yeah, and mushy. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
you're looking at like a texture disadvantage where like cabbage, I feel like if you let like fully cook it, like that kind of is a sad ending for cabbage. I don't
Yeah. You got to have some
say.
crunch. Yeah, you need a little texture and crunch
Texture.
still.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
yeah, totally.
What the
Totally.
fuck am I trying to say? Okay, my brain. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. All right.
Well, was there anything else about Brussels sprouts you think we should know before I read off our ingredients?
No, I really think I need to stop talking about them now because I think I've talked about them for a long ass time. Let's proceed.
Okay, so for our Brussels sprouts, we are using half a pound of Brussels. I think we both have more than that. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We'll end up flexing these, like we said, because we have more of the Brussels. 2 piddly tablespoons of freshly grated Parmesan, plus more for garnish. We decided that the B in tablespoon now stands for bullshit because that is not enough Parmesan. So,
No, absolutely not. We love Parmesan. We need that umami Parmesan flavor. I think I did like a cup of grated
yeah,
Parmesan,
like
like an
drown me in it.
absolutely
Yeah,
absurd amount. Yes.
exactly. 1 teaspoon garlic powder, kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper. And then they suggest Caesar dressing for dipping. We both said no, we're not going to do that. I think probably because this also suggests cutting it in slices versus making the chips. So it's easier to dip, but I don't want to dip anything. Gretchen said she might find a different dipping sauce, but not Caesar.
And Gretchen will be doing both pulled leaves and slices of Brussels sprouts.
I have lots of random dipping sauces in my fridge I can use. I don't need to buy Caesar dressing or make Caesar dressing. Like, that's just not something I need to do.
For your little Brussels sprout slices. Yeah.
I found some red pepper vinaigrette I didn't know was in there before, so that could
Yum.
be good too.
Okay, so that's it for the Brussels sprouts. For our green bean almondine, we've got kosher salt, 2 pounds of string beans trimmed. We both are doing 1 pound. 2 tablespoons or 1 ounce of unsalted butter, 1 cup of slivered almonds, 3 shallots chopped, and freshly ground black pepper. Oh, again, we'll adjust those for ourselves because we're doing double on the Brussels sprouts basically and half on the beans here.
I'm sad now because I was just thinking, I love green beans so much. Why did I do half the amount? I would have loved to have green beans like all week this week, but
it's so easy, as we'll learn. Go, yeah.
Yeah, totally easy. I could make more. I have to go to the store tomorrow.
See,
you never know.
So what are we doing with those ingredients?
For our chip preparation, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. I have mine on air fry, 400 degrees air fry. So I'm going to start with the air fry and then switch over to bake.
I have to turn mine on still.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe you should go do that. I finished reading the recipes.
Okay, I'll go do that.
So we've got our oven at 400 degrees. Becca's going to take care of that now. We are in a large bowl. Toss Brussels sprouts with oil, part of your Parmesan and garlic powder. Season with salt and pepper. Toss well. Spread in an even layer on a medium baking sheet. Bake for 10 minutes. Toss. Bake for another 8 to 10 minutes more until crisp and golden. Garnish with more Parmesan and serve with some sort of dip if you like. If not, don't.
Just inhale them.
Yeah. All of the reviews were basically like, no dipping sauce needed, just ate them as they were. We're here for it.
Yep. Get them in my mouth.
On to our bean method. Bean method. Sorry. I haven't been singing as much in these episodes.
You missed it, apparently.
I do. Or this is just really silly pot. I think it might be silly pot. Bring a large pot of generously salted water to a boil. Set a large bowl of ice water nearby. Drop the string beans into the boiling water and cook until they are bright green and just tender. 3 to 8 minutes. 3 to 8? That's quite a range.
That's double. That's like almost tripled the first number. Like you have.
It just occurred to me why is because you are using haricot vert, correct?
Oh, it's size-based.
I am using a full-size green bean. So you are probably going to be on the 3-minute side, and I am going to be on the 8-minute side. So
all right, fair enough. Recipe.
Fair enough. I take back my judgment. If I'd kept reading, we would have answered a question. Depending on their thickness. So we've cooked our beans for 3 to 8 minutes, depending on their thickness. And using a strainer or a spider skimmer, transfer the beans to the ice water to stop the cooking. Drain the beans, pat dry, and set aside. In a medium pot, in a pot, I got a saute pan down. I thought this was a saute. So we're going to go with a saute pan. Fucking pots.
Sorry, medium pot.
Sorry, medium pot. This is Savour's recipe, by the way, so let's put that out there. Maybe Savour wasn't fully thinking this through, or they were just like, your saute. It's Thanksgiving. Your saute pans are all going to be busy with other things. You can do this in a pot. Who knows? In a medium pot or saute pan over medium heat, melt the butter, and when the foam begins to subside, add the almonds and cook, stirring frequently with a wooden spoon until just golden, 2 to 3 minutes. Add the shallots and cook, stirring frequently until translucent, about 1 minute. Add the beans to the pot and toss to coat. Cook until heated through, about 5 minutes. Season to taste with salt and black pepper. Transfer to a large platter and serve warm. Why are we going in medium pans when we got to put it on a large platter?
Good point. Serving presentation, I guess.
Stupid point.
Spread them all out.
Stupid point to get hung up on. But
we're about consistency over here.
Yeah. We get hung up on stupid shit. That's our consistency.
Yeah. Getting
Two
hung
things.
up. Yeah,
Getting hung up on dumb shit and not reading all the way through the instructions.
absolutely. So we have already peeled or sliced our Brussels sprouts, fucking peeled every single leaf off all of them. And then we have trimmed our green beans. And so what we said, we're going to start with mixing up our Brussels sprouts with all of its ingredients and getting that in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kick off our green beans.
Yep. Let's
Let's
do
do
this.
it.
So I am going with my garlic. Oh, probably half a tablespoon on that amount of leaves was way too much. Hold on. Um,
Of garlic powder.
yeah, I'm gonna just shake it onto my other bowl. They're gonna be very garlicky. Not a problem. No problems here. I have seasoned my Brussels.
And I've
Brussels.
seasoned mine, but I haven't done the olive oil and Parmesan yet.
Same. Okay. We're in the same place.
Perfect. Perfect.
So I'm gonna go with my olive oil. I was thinking about doing grapeseed oil, but I've decided that I don't like the flavor on that enough to put it on there.
Okay, so olive oil it is.
Olive oil it is.
And then Parmesan.
And then the Parmesan. I know, really, like, come on now.
Okay, a little more cheese from the garnish pile. Oops.
Oh, I think I put on like at least half a cup.
Okay, I'm ready to pour mine out on my pan.
I'm working on spreading my leaves out right now. So go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Should we turn on our water for the green beans to blanch?
Oh, yes, we should have already done that.
Of course, we are right on schedule. Of course.
We did turn them on a little bit already, so that mine was on a low heat, just chilling over here while we were doing the intro. So at least I've got a start on it, and now I've cranked it up to power boil. We should be able to go fairly soon on that, but I am going to. Did you already put your stuff in the oven then?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
ready. Good for a little while. Okay, let's go then.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. 8 to 10 minutes. I'll set a timer for 8. Okay.
Since we've got our water going, and hopefully we'll be boiling soon, we can get our ice baths together. Oh, I'm kind of drunk and high.
Oh my God, I need more wine. And you usually have some water then.
I drank some as soon as I got in the kitchen. So
you're good.
I was, yeah. But where did I? Oh, I did drink about 3/4 of my glass of wine. Never mind. I was like, I didn't have that much. Like I had like half a glass. Oh no, wait.
Actually,
I sucked a bunch of that down while you were over there. So we both have our ice baths. And
we're waiting for our water to boil. Our ice is anxiously waiting for the beans to boil, to blanch.
And we have our chips in the oven.
We have our chips in the oven with 5 minutes left. And I didn't get myself more wine like I wanted.
I might have to stir my leaf ones a little bit sooner because they are really browning on the edges.
Okay. And there's still a lot of moisture coming off mine.
Maybe I've just actually given them enough circulation room that they're cooking fast enough.
Yeah, my pan's overcrowded.
All right, I'm gonna get one pan out and stir it around already. They're actually not as brown as they looked in the oven, obviously, because it's darker in there, but
surprise still.
Yeah, turn these guys that have really crispy edges that we're sticking up over. I don't know why I'm doing this with my fingers when I could perfectly be using tongs.
Of course. Touch the hot things, Gretchen.
Yeah. Prove you're not a wuss. Or just be stupid. One of those two things is true.
Just hurt your fingers.
Good news is it's very thin. It's not something that holds heat. So like touching is
no
really
big
not
deal.
bad. Yeah. And back in.
The timer for me is going to go off in 44 seconds. The chips are good? Do they need more time?
No, I'm just eating the raw ones. So.
Oh, the raw ones. Okay.
They taste good though.
Good. Mine are out at the halfway point and I'm tossing them right now.
Okay. So we're at the same point. I don't know that mine are going to be done in 10 minutes. I did slice these by hand, not on the mandolin. So I think that might be a slight disadvantage because they're a bit thicker.
I see.
Might take
for your sliced ones.
Mm-hmm. I just pulled my leaves. They are very brown. And I've removed them from the sheet tray because that little bit of heat that might hold might affect the cooking situation here. So I am done with that.
Okay.
The sliced ones are still in. They are going to need at least a few more minutes and maybe another turn. But I'm going to try one of my green beans to see where I'm at.
How long have your green beans been in the water now?
Oh, only 4 minutes, actually. So probably not quite ready.
Okay.
I forgot to sprinkle with my Parmesan before they cooled off. But they taste good
So
anyway.
it didn't stick as much.
It is just garnish. It doesn't really need to stick, I guess. But
Sure. But it's good?
yeah, I took the most done one, which was a little bordering on burnt.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to try another one here. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about the leaves. I think maybe like the air fry might be too hot or like too much heat.
Oh, they're
For
too
that.
over crispy or something?
They're like a little bit burnt. My beans are done.
So they're going in their ice bath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool down, little beans.
Chill out.
Chill out, relax. Get in your ice bath.
Okay, turning my water off because I don't need this anymore. Oh, hot, 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 hot. Woo. Right, it's been on the stove. Might not want to move it with your bare hands.
Oh my gosh. Should we start our shallots?
You mean the green beans?
For the green beans, yeah? Or should we wait till, because they have to cool?
They have to cool a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say probably not just yet.
No rush. Okay.
I am just turning my over again, my slices. I got some that are real crispy though, so I'm going to pull those guys off.
And you're thinking already the air fryer sleeves is too much.
Yeah, the heat is too much for that.
I'm testing my beans. Oh. Yum. I'm pulling them. They're done.
They're done.
Little guys are done.
All right.
Come on out of there, guys.
The thicker slices I'm putting back in the oven.
Okay.
And I am getting my saute pan out and I'm turning the heat on.
Your saute pan.
Yes. Going to look at what our heat levels are here. Medium heat. All right. It's good. We're not looking for a sear here. We're looking for more of a toast.
That was the 1 minute mark on my leaves in the oven.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to want them to go longer. Ooh, look at a little crisp. These are pretty. Ooh, these are fun. Come take a peek if you have a moment, Gretchen.
Oh, sure. Ooh, nice. Those look great.
I think I might go just a teeny bit longer.
I would advise that the stems look a little bit rare.
Too white still. Okay. Rare. Good call.
Oh my God. I just had one of the slices.
How was it? The air fryer slice?
Yeah, really good.
Oh, good.
Let's see where I'm at. Just so you know, my butter has melted.
Oh, okay. I gotta start my heat. Feel free to go.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the frickin' cheese on it again when it was hot. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Garnishing, not my strong suit.
Again.
Again. You're gonna have to try and get the slices right.
Like the Price is Right. Get that slice right.
Get the slice right.
The green beans next steps is pretty easy, but just so I make sure I know what I'm doing. Our butter's cooking or heating up, and then we're gonna put our shallots in for just a few minutes, and then the almonds go in first. And
almonds
then
are first, then the shallots.
Okay.
I'm actually going with my almonds. The foaming has subsided as per indicated in the recipe, and I'm getting my wooden spoon out. My nuts are starting to get very toasty over here.
Okay, so you're going with your shallots.
I'm about to go with my shallot, just stirring these around a little bit.
My timer's about to go off for my leaves.
I did add all of my shallots. They were small shallots, so I feel like 3 is not an egregious amount to put in with my beans.
Okay, right, because we tried to adjust all the other ingredients, but Gretchen cut up the full amount of shallots. My leaves are done.
I'm going with my green beans. I did not dry them. I'm being a naughty little chef today.
Whoa. My chips are good.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to have one more. I'm not sure I enjoy this application of Brussels more than like a raw salad.
Sure. You mean in the air fryer particularly, or in general, like roasting it like that?
Well, we'll find out after I'm done baking the other batch, but
yeah. Well, because you said like in a salad, right?
Yeah, I do love
versus like raw.
Yeah, I love a raw Brussels sprout. My shallots are getting some nice, like a little bit of nice caramelization on it. So Everything looks good and toasty. Glad I put my beans in when I did, but I'm going to be done in a minute here. So,
Okay. Awesome.
yeah,
Closing in.
closing in. My beans are done.
Awesome. I'm just going in with my shallots. A little behind.
A little bit.
Okay. I am putting my beans in. My beans are done too.
Great. So we're all done.
Yeah. I like this.
Yeah. I love green beans almondine. It's so good. Just nice,
Real
easy, simple.
Mm-hmm.
Let some green beans shine. So
nice little crunch with the almonds, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm glad you suggested this, Gretchen. Good choice.
Yeah, you're welcome. Figured we should do something very traditional or,
Why not? We're done. That's it.
We're done. Yeah.
Brussels are done too. All right.
Yeah, we're done.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you're celebrating that, happy day with people you want to be with, I hope. And
yes,
we will be
we're online
sharing. Yeah, we'll be sharing pictures.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Comment. Star us, please.
Yeah. Give us some stars. Give us some reviews. We might have to start begging people for reviews. Please review us. Helps people
give you
find.
$1.
Yeah. No, we're not going to promise any money. We have no money for this. Don't start throwing the money thing out there.
You're right. We're here. We're going to keep going. Can't stop us, no matter what. And Gretchen, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family.
I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with whatever you're ending up doing with the Thanksgivings.
Mm-hmm. Veggie pot pie. That's our new Thanksgiving thing.
Oh, nice. That's a nice Thanksgiving-y thing. I like that. That's great. So
yeah, that'll be fun. All right. Well, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. I need a 5 or
okay
5-minute nap. Yeah.